Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Hi. Hi, SkyPause.
Hi, I'm just double checking to make sure that we're actually live.
I think we are. How's your morning going, SkyPause?
My morning is going pretty well. Yeah, there we go. My morning is going pretty well. I have Pinkie Pie sitting here next to me. She's doing pretty well. Glad to be here with y'all this morning.
Yeah, we're so excited to talk to you. We've got, I think, a lot of really awesome stuff to talk about. So welcome, new Bronies and Pegasisters.
Awesome. Yes, welcome, welcome. If you are in the Discord, we'll be checking up on the neural net stage questions if you have questions for us throughout the panel. So just be sure to type there. I've got my eye on Twitch too, but let's try to stick to the Discord if we can. So let's go ahead and start. As we've already said, my name is SkyPause. I have been around the Brony fandom since at least 2012. I've been here for quite a while. I got here the way that I guess most people got here. I was procrastinating from homework, is the short story. Put My Little Pony on in the background because I thought it would make good background noise, and wound up not doing my homework that night because I got sucked into the show. So I've been here for a while, and that's kind of how I got here. Been to a bunch of different conventions, tried my hand at a bunch of different things, so that's what's brought me here.
SkyPause, what's your favorite pony?
I think that's a trick question. I like right now probably Starlight Glimmer would be probably my favorite pony right now. How about y'all?
Well, I'll introduce myself first. I am Luminobelle. I'm the cutie little yellowish greeny pony on the screen. I'm so excited to be with you guys. Actually, how I ended up in the fandom, a little bit of background. SkyPause is my older brother, and he, in 2013, he was like, I've been watching this show. It's really amazing. And we've watched cartoons forever together. So I just took a look, and it was, I think that the cliche is that everybody's like, oh, I'll just try it out. And then by the time you get to winter wrap up, you're like completely hooked. And I know that that's been said 1,000 times, but it's true. It's true. Winter wrap up is a jam. So I've been around since 2013. I would say that I'm kind of, one of the things that we wanted to bring to this panel was somebody who's super invested, like SkyPause, somebody who's kind of medium invested, like me, and then a brand new Brony. So we wanted to kind of give lots of perspectives. My favorite pony is Rarity. I think she's amazing. I think she's so funny and glam, and I really like that. But best pony, obviously, Luna Best Pony.
And hi everyone, I'm Phil Buster. I am coming from a relatively new addition to the fandom. Luminobelle actually introduced me to it about 2 years ago, and I, to be honest, did not even know that My Little Pony had a TV show. I had seen the commercials for the toys growing up, but never even knew about it. And then was kind of exposed to this great thing, was able to attend BronyCon last year and really have been immersed in it a little bit. I haven't even finished all the seasons of the show, but I've seen enough to really love this this whole fandom. I would say best pony, just all of the Cutie Mark Crusaders. But if I had to pick one, I would say Scootaloo.
It's a good choice. All right. I'll pass it back to SkyPause.
Awesome. Cool. So I want to thank y'all for being here today. I know that there's a lot going on in the world right now, and if you're one of the people who is affected by it, know that we're with you. Regardless, I encourage all of you to speak up, act, and support each other, and be kind to each other whenever you can, because that is what My Little Pony is all about.
You're here.
So this panel is intended to be a safe panel for everyone. It's going to be an English-centric resource because we all are based in the US. I know that there's a lot of other resources that are available for people that are not English-centric. but that's what we're going to focus on. And this panel isn't intended to be comprehensive or scientific. There are other better resources for that. For example, I'll talk a little bit more later, I guess, about there's a book that was put out by some psychologists, and I've been to their panel several times. It's called Meet the Bronies, The Psychology of the Adult My Little Pony Fandom, if you want a more scientific treatment of it. And it's going to be not complete because we've only got like 50 minutes to do this. We will not be covering some topics today, topics like not safe for work topics, 18+, politics, copyright, things like that. So we're going to try to keep it fairly narrowly focused on the ponies today and the Brony fandom today. Anything to add about that, Luminobelle?
No, I just think that there's so much that we could talk about in preparing for this panel. We had like probably 50 slides that we had to cut down because we had so much to say. So if we don't hit your favorite part of the fandom, or if we don't, if we don't hit everything, just drop us a line. Maybe we can add it to our next panel. And we really this is our first panel, so we want to make sure that we're kind of hitting all of what we think is the important stuff. So, all right.
Awesome.
So I will dive in here. A little bit about what we're going to talk about is what is the My Little Pony fandom, and then how can I approach the fandom and get the most from it. I think that is like such a Twilight way of going about this, but I think that it's kind of the best way. So back to Meet the Bronies, the book that SkyPause showed. They define a brony as a older than the target demographic fan of the show My Little Pony. And so it can be adults, it can be teenagers. So bronies are just kind of it's a term of that means like the fans of the show. And then there's also Pegasister, which some people use, some people hate it. I don't know why. I'm kind of neutral on it. I don't really have strong feelings, so you can call me Pegasister if you want. And so what we're going to dive into here, as I pass it back to SkyPause, is a little bit of kind of how can you get the most out of enjoying this fandom.
Cool. So as we all know, or if you are not aware, you will soon become acquainted with the fact that drinking from a fire hose is a lot like all of the fandom content, because there's just so freaking much of it. And that can be both a really exciting thing and a little bit intimidating at times. So one thing I want to let you know is that you don't have to consume all of the content. Find a thing that you like, or if you like all of it, like all of it. But don't feel bad if you're not able to know everything all at once. Because if you're like the type of person like me that likes to latch onto something and become obsessed with it, take warning. There's a lot that you can become obsessed with. So what we're going to try to do is here's a few things that we're going to talk about and break down the mountain. So one thing to be aware of is that if you are like me to become obsessed with things, there's no zealot like a new convert. So just be aware of the fact that you don't need to take yourself too seriously with it, because it's all just fun and it should be fun for everybody.
Yeah, and I would just add that there are so many things here that even after having been a fan for years and years of the show that I still am not as familiar with. So we would encourage you to just take it easy on yourself. There's a lot going on, and we kind of want to touch each of those areas so that you can kind of get a well-rounded view of what we've got.
Awesome, awesome. So the first thing is, of course, the show. If you are new to the fandom, then you will need to be aware of spoilers, because the show right now, it's going between My Little Pony Friendship is Magic and whatever is coming next. So Friendship is Magic did end. So just be aware of spoilers if you're out in the wild and you don't like spoilers. There are comics, if you are unaware of the comics. I think the comics are underrated, so give them a try. They're put out by the people associated, for example, with Hasbro.
I'm wearing a comic shirt right now, actually, from Andy Price. I have a ton of his art. He's amazing. Check him out.
I think we have the same shirt there.
We definitely do.
But don't have the comics underrated. They're really good. And also, don't neglect some of the newer things that are coming out. I would suggest you give them a chance. Things like Equestria Girls and the My Little Pony Life, I think I'm looking forward to personally. All right, cool. So the next slide, what's coming up next is just sort of a thing to say. The following list is a list of observations, not endorsements, because there are plenty of other places other than that are listed. I only had to pick a few because time, again, is limited. And I don't want to overwhelm anybody, especially if you are not as familiar with the plethora, the hundreds of thousands of places that you can go. I've just listed a few of the places that you can go to find good pony content and talk with other pony enthusiasts. The discovery, again, for me, is part of the fun. So feel free to explore and experiment to find your own places for what you like. You can also go to places like Facebook, Instagram, Discord, etc., to find local meetup groups or topic-specific friend groups. I haven't elected to put many of them on here because everybody basically knows about YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, DeviantArt, stuff like that. So let's continue.
I would add one thing. If you'd like to take a screenshot of any of our slides, that's totally fine. And if you have questions, drop them in the neural net stage questions, and we'd be happy to answer them and as we go along.
Yes, yes, yes. So the first place that I would say, if you are not acquainted with anything pony, is probably Equestria Daily. It's one of the English-centric hubs around. It's generally good because it has news. It tries to stay clear of drama and politics posts. There are some people that have concerns about different things that they report or not report. But I think it's overall a good place to go. I go there a couple of times a week. I would give their rating system probably between a G and a PG-13 for all of the content that they post. And they post everything from art to fanfics. They post community stuff. It's a really good little site. And they also have an app for your phone if you're not at a computer to sit down and look at it. They do have an app, so that's very helpful. I got a question on Discord. Yes, we will take questions here in a little bit. Yes, so we will take questions. Sorry. So the next place that I would say to go is probably fem fiction, if you like fan fiction, if you like reading it. It's specific pony fan fiction to Pony, My Little Pony and Equestria Girls fan fiction site. Depending on what you want, I would give its rating for what's posted there between G and R, depending on what filters you use. So if you go on there, just be aware that people have different tastes. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't like grimdark, for example, just make sure that you're using the filter and not clicking on something that's grimdark for that purposes. I've been on there for a while. It's pretty cool. So just be aware that that's a thing that you can go to. Also, if you like fan fiction but don't necessarily want to have to sit down and read it, a lot of the classic fan fictions are on YouTube. You can have them go and you can find either shortened versions of them or read versions of them. Or there was a great series a couple of years ago that a group of people put out called Rainbow Dash Presents, that made these cute little shorts for some of the original OG fanfics that you can search for. It was, I think the group was called It's Dawn Somewhere. You can search for them online at some point and see if you can find some of those if you're interested in them. For the fan fiction, if you're just starting out, there's so much of it. I would go to the most viewed tab or the top all-time tab and start there. Or talk to some of the people in the Discord and the writers panel. They'll have a lot more to say about that than what we're going to say. As far as music, music's one of my favorite parts of the fandom. Two of my favorite places to get music are the Ponies at Dawn. They're good music with a large variety of genres, from anything from rock and heavy metal to more softer opera stuff. Occasionally you'll find some country on there or electronic music of all different types, ska, everything. So give them a check out if you're interested. They will post an album maybe twice a year, 3 times a year, something like that. And Ponyville FM is an internet radio station that's really cool. They have every now and then, pretty regularly, a couple times a week, people come on there and do live performances from time to time. Anything to add, Luminobelle or Filibuster?
Yeah, so one of my favorite places to kind of look at art from the pony community is actually DeviantArt, and we have that down there in the left-hand corner, and I'll let SkyPause go through a couple of the other places there. But DeviantArt is really an awesome platform for not only, it's not specific to ponies, but it houses tons of pony art. You can look through pictures of Luna and Celestia all day long. And one of the things that's I think is so awesome about this fandom is that people partake in the art. These are not like professional artists. They're not professional musicians even, on Ponyville FM. These are just fans of the show that are creating something really awesome. And that's something that I find really special about the fandom, is that I can go to, even an online convention or an in-person convention and meet some of these really amazing artists who are just putting their work out there. I think that the inspiration in the show is so apparent that it's just wonderful to see. So DeviantArt is a great place to explore. And so I also, I know that SkyPause will give you this warning, but definitely use filters and blocking, especially if you have little ones around. Make sure that you're careful about that, because there is some 18+ content on a lot of these platforms. So I think that it's really important to protect our younger fans and also enjoy the art that we want to see and be able to consume it in the way that we want to.
Awesome, awesome. I agree as well. A couple of things that I did not mention a moment ago were there's lots of great animation. I know that there's going to be an animating panel later today, but YouTube's a great place for animation. So if you haven't checked them out, check out some like Snowdrop is a really cool one. Or there's lots of other one. Rainbow Dash Presents, The Double Rain Room's another one, good one. Children of the Night, there's some really good animations as well. All right, let's go to the next slide. So finding fan content. We talked a little bit about that, but you can also find fan content by making fan content. That's one of the most favorite things about the fandom to me, is that there's so many creative people in the fandom that we like to create our own fun, as it were. So don't be afraid to create your own fun, because you don't have to be good at something necessarily to have fun at it. And that's one of the things I've enjoyed most about it. I have a little Pinkie Pie plush that I have made here in the past week. Actually, I bought the pattern from it from one of the vendors.
So cute. Oh my God.
Yeah. I bought the pattern from one of the vendors, and the fabric came recently. So that's been fun. Try music if you like music. Try drawing if you like drawing. If you want to do comics, do that. Animation. There's so much stuff, and there's so many resources.
Yeah.
Daily also.
Sorry. One of the things about making your own fun that we did mention earlier is that there's lots of ways to get involved and make friends. One of the things that SkyPause and I have done for a couple of years, I think SkyPause has done it for even longer, is Equestria Daily's like art challenge. They do a newbie artist training grounds, and for a month you get a prompt every day and you draw what you want to. So you're developing an artistic skill, but you're also part of this community. You know that there are hundreds of other people drawing right along with you and learning right along with you, which is a great way to both make friends in the community and like get involved in the kind of creative side of the fandom.
And get feedback, because if you post it, and you'll have to go on their website and look. I think it's actually starting Monday, maybe. But you can post it on there. They'll have a specific way for you to post it, but you can get feedback on it, and that's one of the coolest things to me about it, is that you can give feedback on stuff that you like and receive feedback for ways to improve.
And I would say you do not have to be good. I am horrible at drawing, but I was still able to kind of take the prompts and have fun with it. So don't feel like there's a barrier to entry.
Yes, I would agree. And there's also lots of references online. You can go on to Pinterest or DeviantArt, or there's specific links in the Newbie Artist Training Grounds links from past years that you can see references about how people have done that. Cool. So Fandom hubs, continuing on from the more digital hubs, one of our favorites is conventions. And since you all are at a convention now, you're already doing a good thing. The best way to find cool stuff is right here at the convention. So take full advantage of it. Look at the people's profiles who are presenting and see who they like, and you can find new content that you like. And maybe try your hand at some of that too. My favorite thing about conventions is probably the music. When people bust into song, that's what I like. Or the fan musicians is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I think that at the in-person conventions, one of the most, like, I guess, magical moments is when kind of everybody knows a song. And they're just like, there are only a few pony songs that everyone in the fandom knows. And when you're in like the Brony Palooza or any sort of like those big concerts where everybody's like waving their plushies around, you've got flags going in the background, it's really special. And then like somebody starts playing Discord and the entire room like just bursts into like, Discord, I'm howling at the moon. And it's awesome. Like everybody is so happy to be there. And so that's definitely one of my favorite parts, is when everybody's able to kind of be part of the magic.
And I'll add that as someone very new to the fandom, being able to attend a convention in person whenever those are able to restart, I think online it was a little theoretical for me, the fandom. I couldn't really get a sense of it. And then when you see all these different groups of people coming together, it really takes shape and you can see what a great community it is. We've got a question. I think this is better suited for the two of you. What was the silliest thing you have seen at a My Little Pony convention?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think that maybe the stage dives were pretty silly. I mean, they were really fun, but it was quite silly to see some of the people stage dive. I love anybody. There's a couple of people who dress up like they do flim and flam, and they do like magic tricks, and it's really fun. They do just like a cosplay of flim and flam, and that's quite silly, and I really enjoyed that. What about you, SkyPause?
The silliest thing that I've seen at a My Little Pony convention, probably either when they let them happen, the fun trains. They kind of put a nix on that, but I like the fun trains and the Please Don't Jump from BronyCon. I thought was the year that was the thing was funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Do we want to take the other questions before moving on?
Yeah, we can take the other questions. So there was a question that says, "Do you guys enjoy all of the show?" Yes, I enjoy all of the show, and I enjoy Equestria Girls as well. If people prefer certain parts of the show, that's fine. Enjoy what you enjoy.
I really enjoy bringing in the new characters, and I think that bringing in the more of a variety of characters allows more people to get involved too. So you get lots of different personalities identifying with the characters. So I like all of the show too, and I get the kind of idea. Like I've heard some people, you're right, like a little bit of gatekeeping. Like the first 3 seasons are the best. If that's kind of what people are thinking, then great. But enjoy what you enjoy. If you only like the first 3 seasons, I think that's totally fine. Even though I love like the following seasons and the new characters and lots of the different kind of creatures that show up in the show.
And one more question, just because I don't know if we're getting back to it. You've probably read way more of the fan fiction than us. So if we're asked what you consider a must-read.
Cool. All right. So there's so much. Where I would start, if I were to start fresh with having not read anything, there is probably, I forget if they're a vendor this time, but if you go look down on the bottom, there's probably a vendor for the Traveling Pony Museum. if you go onto their website, they have a list of books that have been the most popular fanfics published in hard copy. So for example, they'll have a collection of short stories about Celestia or Luna, or they'll have Past Sins or My Little Dashie or Fallout Equestria. And you can buy the hard copies if you want to, but you can also go and find them on FemFiction and read them that way as well. That's where I would start, those sort of established ones that have been good enough that people want to put them in hard copy. That's where I would start.
What is your personal favorite?
My personal favorite, it's one that I read quite a while ago by a guy by the name of the 24th Pegasus, and I forget the name of it, but it was about the Hearth's Warming Eve establishment of Equestria story. It was like a storm of shadows, song of shadows. It was, I forget the exact name of it, but that was probably one of my favorites that I know that not many people have read, but I really enjoyed it.
Veteran Bronies on the channel who might be able to recall which one that is, so we'll put the call out to them.
Awesome. So I have talked a little bit about the music. The fan-made music is awesome. I love it. There's so much of it. I've tried a little bit of it myself. I'm not terribly great, but it's really good, and I have enjoyed what I did of it. But don't neglect the show music as well, because that's one of the things that I'm sure drew you in as it drew me in, was all of the great music. Anything to add, guys?
Yeah, well, SkyPause is actually being very modest here. He's an incredible pony musician. SkyPause plays the banjo and does some folk stuff and bluegrass versions of some songs. So you can check him out on YouTube, but he's really fabulous. The music is such a fun part because it allows people to showcase their talents who might not otherwise get to. Like, seeing people totally rock a stage who otherwise aren't really performing is so awesome and empowering and really wonderful to support your friends and kind of partake in the storytelling of music and being part of the fandom.
And I know a lot of these people will occasionally stream as well. So make sure that you check out not just the main music stage today, but also check out some of the people on the Renegade stage, because they put as much effort in as the people on the main stage, and they're very, very good. Some of my favorite musicians are actually playing on the Renegade stage today. So don't knock them until you listen to them, because they're really, really good.
We can get going, and then we'll get back to these questions. We got a couple more questions in there.
Okay, we'll just keep on trucking and get to them. This is my favorite. Okay, so cosplay, I think, is such a cool aspect of the fandom. I have been to multiple BronyCons. We went to HarmonyCon last year. The cons are my favorite part of the fandom, but the cosplay is one of the best pieces of that. We all three cosplay. We've done group cosplays. We've done separate. I feel like this is so cliche, but everybody has to try it. I've been Nightmare Moon. I have been Chrysalis. I've been a Crystal Pony. That was what I was at the very last BronyCon. I was a Crystal Pinkie Pie. I've been regular Pinkie Pie. I like doing villains, and I like doing Pinkie Pie, the very extremes of the fandom. But cosplay is really fun because you get to see people's creativity in like artistry. It's really wonderful. And I really enjoy the planning phase. And I enjoy seeing like when there are little kids there and they see you walking towards them and you've got your really cool like cape and your Nightmare Moon, and they kind of just see it. And there's that magic there. That's really awesome. And then kind of being able to take pictures with people who appreciate the work that you put into your costume is really awesome. And then there's also like, I think that the Brony community is so welcoming to cosplayers, from like the most basic cosplays to the most elaborate. You don't have to like knock it out of the park every time for people to really appreciate that you are doing something cool and you're embodying this character. And also sometimes it helps people come out of their shells. I think that a lot of times in the Brony fandom, you have people who maybe have social anxieties and maybe aren't really, the most outgoing people, but they want to come, they want to participate, they want to make friends. And cosplay is a really great way to come out of your shell and kind of embody this character so that you can step into, the friendship and magic aspect of things.
Yeah, and I think I'll just add, as someone who's a little shy about doing the cosplay at certain points, you definitely will not feel out of place if you don't want to do cosplay yourself and you just want to admire some others. So don't feel like if that's something you're not comfortable with that you have to do it. And I think probably as you get more immersed, you probably will want to do it, but you shouldn't feel the pressure to.
Yes, I agree. And if you just want to enjoy what other people do with the cosplay, that's fine too. There's lots of good compilations that you can see. So
before we go to the next slide, always ask if you take pictures of people in their costumes. Sometimes, folks just have been busy, they're tired, or they don't want to have their picture taken. So just always ask. That's just a nice thing to do. I will be happy to take a picture.
Yeah, and the other thing actually I want to add to that as well is there are times where people are obviously not cosplaying, like for example, if they're in the restroom and you see them, or if they are eating, when they're not trying to be out and publicly visible and on, as it were. So make sure that you just behave socially appropriately and not try to bother people when they're in their personal time, even if they are dressed up. But if they're out, like at a cosplay competition, then yeah, talk to them.
Yeah. Ponysonas, this was also one that I really wanted to add in here. I love my Ponysona. I think that she's adorable. I think she's fun. And I think that Ponysonas are a great and a fun way to explore your own personality and to make friends. The three that you see on the screen, that's us. You get to make your cutie mark. That really for me took a lot of thought, and it was kind of this really great meditative time to kind of think about, what is my special talent? What is my gift? You can't really tell in the pixelated version, but my cutie mark is a Liberty Bell. I'm really interested in justice. I'm really interested in government and America. And so that I felt was something that embodied my interest in my special talent and purpose. So that's my cutie mark. And I think that it's a really fun way to just kind of be part of the fandom. There's a lot of online interaction, like Ponytown, that you can be part of and meet new people.
And if I can add one thing to that, I think that also it's a good way, and it's something that Bronies, I think, share with furries, the furries that I have met. Ponysonas and fursonas are a really cool way to experiment and figure out who your best self is. What do you like? What do you not like? Who are you? So if you're searching for that, I think this is a good way to sort of experiment with that in a safe way.
Yeah, and we made these, if anybody's wondering where we made these little pixelated guys, we made them on Ponytown. It's really fun. They have lots of different options. It's really fun, and it's a great site, I think.
Cool. So the next thing, online and in person, that I want to say is, don't be a creep. And I don't mean like that as you yourself are a creep. What I mean is, it's easy online to form one-sided relationships with people. So let's say that you're online and there's this person that you like. Let's take a popular fan name, Dusty Cat. And he posts something online and you like it. And you keep every day he posts something and you like it. You're one, and I am one of 400 people that would like such a tweet every day. He doesn't necessarily know who I as an individual am. Same thing goes for you. So make sure that you're aware of these parasocial relationships that you're forming, these one-sided relationships with people that can form at times. So be aware that all of these people that are horse famous, be they actors or fandom celebrities, as I was people talking about the Bronies React series, they're just people. So be aware of that fact and try not to invade personal space or personal boundaries. Just because you like their content doesn't mean that you have ownership of their time.
Yeah. And we say don't be a creep in kind of in good humor.
Yeah, it's meant to be funny, but
yeah, it's meant to, but we really want. I think that there's definitely that parasocial relationship is really important to kind of keep in mind. Yeah, I definitely agree.
So the next thing I want to bring up is something that lots of people either like or don't like, and that's drama. And in my mind, there are at least two different types of drama. Neither one is good, in my opinion, and one is actively bad. So the type 1 drama that I'm going to talk about is drama proper. And it's usually, but not always, interpersonal disputes or people over-exaggerating something to get attention or to stir the pot. Things like, I'm leaving the fandom, or the fandom's gonna die. Things like that. Trying to over-dramatize some personal thing to get attention or for issues. My advice with these is to look at the situation from the outside and say, is there anything that I add by commenting? Most of the time the answer is no, because you're not going to add to the conversation. There's not anything of any substance that's going to make any difference. So my advice with type 1 drama is usually, unless there's a reason not to watch it from afar. Type 2 drama is, I hesitate to call it drama because it's not really drama, but people use the same words for it. It's worse than drama. It's something that's actively bad. It's things like actual abuse or racism or stalking, predatory behavior, sending not safe for work images or clop to or about minors, things that are actually criminal or that actually are intending to try to harm people in that kind of a way. They can look similar from the outside, but they're very, very different. So with the type 2 drama, I would say usually there is someone in a position of power, so maybe a mod or a con staff that you should probably go to. If you see something with type 2 drama, say something.
Yep, awesome.
Anything to add?
No, I think that was great. Let's go on to fun memes and references from the fandom. I love so many of these. I think my favorite one on this page, oh gosh, I don't know. I've laughed very many times at cons at Love and Tolerate. They have those on like the shirts. I think that's pretty funny and cute.
Yeah, I think the memes and references are a really cool way that people show an in-group familiarity and a buddy-buddy in-group dynamic. And that's one of the best things about it once you know all of them. But if you don't know all of the memes, it can be kind of off-putting. So what is 20% cooler? That's an original OG meme from back in the day from that Rainbow Dash said. A lot of the older memes and the references and stuff are easily Googleable. You can go onto, there's a What is a Brony site. There's some other ones that I saw earlier in the chat that some people were posting around, or the different meme bases that you can go to try to find some of the older memes. If it's a more obscure meme or a new meme, you may not be able to find it. So for example, a newer example of that would be Fuff. If you don't know what Fuff is, Fuff came from the first PonyCon. Now, I did not attend the first PonyCon online because I had work stuff going on. So when I attended the second one, people were saying, Fuff, Fuff, Fuff. What is Fuff? Well, what you do in that case is you find somebody who's using the meme and ask them in for example, a digital message. Or you can go and ask online. There is an information desk in the Discord that you can go. Usually someone there will know what it is. Fuff, for those of you that don't know, is a funny misspelling of fun. That's what a lot of these are, is just funny misspellings. And there are some other ones that I encourage you to look up. I'm not going to go over all of these. If you have any specific questions, go ahead and ask them in NeuralNet's the stage questions, and we'll get to them at the end. But I do think, for the sake of time, I'm going to go to the next slide. Anything to add, fellas?
Yeah, no, I think we can like kind of speed through the rest so that we can have time to take questions. I wanted to give a little bit of a Pegasister perspective. I think that there are lots, there's a kind of an idea that this is a mostly male identifying fandom. That's not true. There are so many, femmes and female and, women identifying folks who are in the fandom. And so if you want to find those people, I encourage you to go out and look for those artists. There are lots and lots of us femmes in the fandom. And so one of the things that I would definitely say is, if you're at a convention, for me, I like to go with a buddy just to make sure that I'm safe, and everybody should be looking out for their neighbors and their fellow friends in the fandom. Also, we wanted to touch on diversity in the fandom. There is so much diversity in this fandom, and we want there to be even more. There's lots of work yet to do, but we have lots of people in the fandom who are neurologically diverse. We have lots of people in the fandom who are from lots of different countries. It's an international fandom, so you have difference of language. There are lots of people in the fandom who are LGBTQ, which is, this is a safe place for that, and it's really awesome. And you can kind of seek out those communities. One place that I think we all think we could do better is reaching out to our minority fellow fans and making sure that they feel safe and in the community. And so we want to just make sure that this is a place where everybody can come and have fun and experience the kind of magic that we all feel in the fandom.
One thing I'd like to add about that, so as far as diversity, there are kids that come to lots of this stuff. So make sure that if you're at a convention, the kids come first, because it really is a child-friendly property. So for example, if you're at a question and answer session with show staff, everybody always likes to aw at the kids when they ask the question. So, consider letting the kid cut in line in front of you. They really do come first. So one of the last things that I want to talk about is how the magic of friendship grows in the changing fandom. Change and evolution is a good thing in this context. It's what we want. We don't want to ossify. Change means that we have a living subculture that we can engage with. You create the fandom that you want to live in. So just make sure that as we continue into the new stuff that's coming up, like Pony Life, that you give it a chance, because different does not mean bad. Different means different, and we can enjoy things that are different. And some concluding thoughts before we get into some questions is ask questions and be nice. If you don't know something, ask and be nice to people and be nice about it. Have fun and don't stress, because it's ponies. It's meant to be fun. If it's causing you stress, it should be fun. And also visit the vendor hall, even if you don't plan on buying anything. One of my favorite things, probably my second favorite thing about in real life conventions, is going and seeing all of the artwork that people put their heart and soul into, and just seeing it plastered everywhere. And I know it's not the same going to the vendor hall here, but you can get some facsimile of it, even if you don't plan on buying anything. You can see all of the awesome art that people do.
All right, let's take some questions.
Yeah, so I can just read them, and I think the two of you will have better insight than me. But one question we had is, if you could bring 3 ponies to our world, who would they be?
I'll take that first. I think that I would bring Twilight. I love Twilight. Spike. Does he count as a pony? I love Spike. I think he's so fabulous. And I don't know. I'd like to meet Applejack. I think she'd be a good time.
Cool. Yeah. If I could bring 3 ponies into the world, I'm going to take the cheap way out and say I'm going to bring reformed Discord, so that Discord could bring all of the other ponies, or make a portal to Equestria. So I'm going to spend all 3 of mine on Discord.
Another question we had was, this might be too hard to answer, to pick just one. What's your favorite episode?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's good. I think I have favorite episodes at a certain point in time based on what mood I'm in. I'm going to say the episode with Autumn Blaze in it, with the Kieran, is right now probably my favorite, because the music's great. It's got a good message. if not the My Little Pony movie.
I was gonna say I love the movie. My episodes, gosh, I like Hearthstorming Eve. I think that's a great episode. But yeah, I love the movie too.
Do you recommend the Bronies React series to help newer fans get to know the well-known Bronies?
I do. I would say watch it if you like it. Continue to watch it. I watch it sporadically. They tend to be kind of long, but they do have some funny bits in them. So yeah, why not?
And what show song left the largest emotional impact on you?
I know this one, like, I absolutely am sure of it. At the last BronyCon, there was a Brony who got up and at the talent show and sang Sia's song from the My Little Pony movie, Rainbow, and I wish he would have won because he was so incredible, and his passion for the song. And it was the last BronyCon. I was crying in my seat at the talent show at the very last BronyCon. I don't even remember his name, but he's saying Rainbow, and it just really got to me. I would also, just as a side note, also at the last BronyCon when the furries sang "Great to Be Different," that one also got me too.
Yeah, those are two very good answers. I would probably say either from the movie Time to Be Awesome, or I see the commenter suggested You'll Play Your Part. I would also say probably You'll Play Your Part would be one of the in my running as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Skypause, you mentioned Pony Life. What is Pony Life?
Pony Life is what is sort of the in between what we think is it's the Friendship is Magic and the next generation of My Little Pony. So I think actually there were some leaks maybe in the very recent past, maybe this morning or yesterday. If you check Equestria Daily, it's got some information about it, more than I remember off the top of my head. But it is the same characters, but they're drawn in a different style. It's meant to take it from a different perspective. So it's something that I would, when it comes out, it's not out yet, consider watching it, because I sure as heck am going to watch it.
I want to ask what your favorite type of pony is.
I really enjoy the changelings. I think maybe it's just because I think they have such great character development and kind of over the seasons become something really awesome. But yeah, I think that I don't know. I mean, how can you compete with the OG ponies? But if I had to pick one, I really, really like the changelings. What about you, Skypause?
I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite, but I really wanted to see more of the Diamond Dogs. The Diamond Dogs or the Zebras. I really wanted to see more of.
I will just note that if you're following along in the conversation, everyone has very different opinions on all these questions, and it's fun to see how many different perspectives there are.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Many different ways there are to enjoy this show.
Yeah. And
this fandom.
One person asked, what do we think the future of the Brony fandom is? So Skypause and I are both part of the Star Trek fandom also, which is still really active and has aged and is kind of just, it's really an interesting fandom to be part of. And honestly, I see the My Little Pony fandom kind of aging in a similar way. But I think that what the difference is going to be is, like, with a bunch of digital natives, we're going to be doing so much more online. There's going to be more creativity. I think that because we have that creativity, we're never going to really have like a lull. Even if there's no show, I think that because there's fan fiction and art and development and music, there's so much more to this fandom than there are pieces to other fandoms, although they're really awesome in their own rights. I think that the Brony fandom is only going to get more creative as it ages.
Yeah, yeah. I think that it will be very interesting to see. There were, I think, early on, a lot of fad chasers, or people that got something out of it that they wanted to, and then left and needed to get, grow, and then are coming back. I think that what we have now is a really nice core group of people, and I think that that core will grow. I saw a question or a thing in the comments that I just completely forgot to mention, just because there's literally so much stuff here. Why not talk about the reviewing side of the fandom for deeper dives into stuff? There are a lot of reviewers that I like. I think that a lot of the theories, especially when the show was going on, the fan theories were one of my favorite things as well about it. A lot of them are on YouTube. If you look for My Little Pony reviews, you'll see a plethora of information about them. To be honest, I just forgot. There's so much stuff here.
Yeah, it's so great. And
so if you have favorite reviewers, feel free to post them in the neural net stage.
Yeah. Also, I think before we wrap up, it might be good to show. I think we have some other resources.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to screenshot a couple of the resources that we have, like the Meet the Bronies, wikis and stuff, here's a page where you can kind of have that as a resource. Also, that we had a note earlier just about don't let anybody make you feel bad about this fandom. This fandom is so awesome. It is the place where I feel most accepted. It's the place where I feel like if I walk into a con or come into a con, I'm going to have friends there and people who support me, and people who are like, hey, even if you totally bombed, great effort. And that's something that's really special. So I know that a lot of times people give Brony side eye, and if you're a new Brony, I think that that's something that is definitely hard to grapple with. For us, we've been in it forever. Like when people make fun of me for being a Brony, I'm just like, oh, super original. You're making fun of somebody who likes a kid, so like, okay. But it's something that you kind of have to like learn how to accept yourself for loving it, and just include more people, bring them in, because we just need more love and magic in the world.
Cool. I see there's a couple of people typing. I know we've only got like 2 or 3 minutes left, so get your typing in, and we'll continue to answer. And
here's all of it from the pictures that we used. We wanted to just credit where.
Yeah. All of the pictures that we got were from the Fandom wiki, because we didn't want to take anybody's art without asking permission. But do check out the artists; they're so good. Yeah, something that's really slowed is the PMVs. I see some still occasionally. You just got to watch out for them on YouTube. If you follow a lot of the people that are that do sort of the animation stuff, and that you just got to be lucky and find them. Like I said, I know that there will be an animating panel later on. Oh, and another thing I wanted to mention, right after this panel, if you're interested in doing like character creation stuff, I think that the next panel is character creation. So if you're interested in making your OC, I think in this stage is character creation. I don't think it's specific to OCs, but Yeah,
and before we leave, I just really wanted to thank everybody for coming to our panel.
Yes, thank you.
This is our first panel. We've been involved for a long time, like we said, and to have like people actually asking us questions is really like,
yeah.
We worked so hard on this, and we want to do right by you guys because we love the fandom. We are the fans. We're not horse famous or anything. We just love being here and doing this kind of thing.
Yeah. And I will add, for everything that was discussed during this, if you missed something in the comments anywhere, there were a lot of other suggestions for things we couldn't fit in here. So take a look back through, and you'll be able to get some other ideas for other stuff.
Yes, yes, yes. If you have things that you would like to discuss further, on most social media, I am SkyPause or SkypauseBGP. So if you have things that you'd like to ask about, please feel free to reach out and ask. If you would like to offer suggestions for if we ever offer this panel again, like, for example, for getting the reviewers, just reach out and let us know, because we're open to discussing stuff with you.
Yep. Thank you guys so much. We love you.
Yes. Enjoy the rest of the convention.
Bye.